Hello everyone, this is Professor Kent. Today we are recording, this recording is lesson 17, customer maintenance. So make sure you use your lesson 16 files, you load them, and now you should be working with those files to do chapter 17, lesson 17. Another lesson 17, similar to what we did in the AP. What we are doing is we're going to go to our customer folder, and then we're in the customer group, and we're going to create the group. In this case, we're creating a group. First, you're going to create a group, and that's where you're going to go get a customer. So you're going to enter your customers. So let's do the group first. Your first group is ECAN, and then it's a Canadian customers. And it is electrical division. And then what we needed to do is we needed to set up the account set which you already created before. And what we needed to do is we needed to just we're going to take the open, and here first one is account set. What type of accounts they are? It's a Canadian customer, so we do ECAN. Term code, what is it? And net 30. So these ones we already set it up. All you have to do is you have to just put them, select them. In other words, you're selecting them. So this is Canadian, and then your interest will be in this case it's interest 15. And then what we're going to do is select it, and once you have selected, you go to the next one. Is this a credit? Now credit will tell us are they allowed to do a credit checks, allow added to credit check, total outstanding. These are some of the information that we are going to, in other words, we wanted to tell the system that we wanted to allow the added of a credit check. And then what we wanted to do is we also want to click on the total outstanding balance, and the type, the limit is 5,000. So if they start buying more than the 5,000, what we wanted to total outstanding will exceed the credit limit of 5,000. So the buffer is 5,000, and that the buffer is for this customer is these customers are 5,000. Then we're going to go to the invoicing tab. Under the invoicing tab, we wanted to know which salesperson. So you're going to double click. We know of quite a few salespeople that works with it. In this case, the person that is dealing with this the Canadian customers is Amanda. And then you're going to go type is what percent. 100% is going to be done by Amanda. So this is the person that will be doing it. We don't do anything with the taxes. And what we're going to go to, we go to optional field. Under the optional field, we are going to go to the first line, and you're going to double click it, and it's the region that we select. And once you are done, what we needed to do is you have to tab it over to select it. And what we do is we add it. So in this case, we added the first one, and we save it. Now what we wanted to do is if we wanted to make the changes to the statistic, so we should be able to make the changes. Try making it. Now this is what they're telling you to do. Try making the changes. So we're able to make the changes to this. So we made, if you make any changes, you could save it, but in this case we don't have any information regarding this customer because we're just starting it. So we will save it, and now what we needed to do is we needed to add a new group. So let's do our new group, and our new group will be MCN, and it's your machinery division, and the description will be Canadian customers machinery division. And then what we're going to do is here we are wanted to account set will be Canadian, but it's a machinery division, and code will be your 210 and net 30, and the billing cycle is a Canadian customer, and we are going to the interest profile that we said it was mint mint, that's 15. We select it. Then the next one, what we wanted to do is we're going to go to your credit, and then we wanted to allow the credit check. We're going to go here and then put it in the credit limit of 10,000. And then we go to the invoicing. Who's the person dealing with these customers? If there isn't any, we don't need to put it in. We leave it blank. In this case, optional field, we wanted to select it. Not all divisions has the not all of them has a salesperson assigned. So not all of them has a salesperson assigned. So we're gonna do is save it, and then we're gonna do is you could add it another one. So let's add the next one. Is your EUS. In other words, this is your US customers. Electrical division account set is for your US customers. So it's EUSA. So we select it. Code here will be 30. So we are going to do net 30, and billing cycle will be US customers, and your interest profile is EN15. In this case, it's electrical division. You're going to go to the credit. In this case, we allow the credit check. The total outstanding for this is for these customers are 15,000. So that's, in other words, that's their credit limit. And then we're going to go to invoicing. There's no salesperson for the invoicing. And then we're going to go to optional. And then what we're going to do is click the regional and tab it over to select anything. And I added, now I can make the changes to the statistics. So I can make a change, but in this case, there's nothing to do with statistics. I save it. I'm going to collect the next one. It is your US customers. And it is machinery division. And then here you have an account set. We are going to see which ones. In this case, we are account. So we have an open item. We print the statement. Our account set will be US customers. Term code will be your installment. So we select it. And then billing cycle is your US. And the interest profile is mint 15. So once they're set up, all you're doing is, once that is done, we just make it easy to just select it, allow the credit check, and the outstanding balance will be 25,000. So that's the thing. And then we are going to go invoicing. We leave it open, blank. Only if you have a salesperson assigned to that division, then you do it, and then tab it over. And what we wanted to do is we wanted to add it, and we save it. So now what we're going to do is we have done what we needed to do. I will save it and I will close it. Now we're entering the customer profile, means each group has a different customers that belong. So this is where the customer profile, the customer name, the customer number will go in here. The first one we wanted it, the customer number will be 1100, and the name of the customer is Mr. Jones, Mr. John Jones. And then they will have a business. In this case, we want to leave it alone, and they have a group, and that will be a Canadian customer. And then we're going to bypass everything, and then we put it in the address, whatever the address will be, the start date will be. So in this case, the start date will be, we wanted to do the beginning of the year, so this is at the beginning of the this year. So we're going to go January 1st. Territory will be where they from. In this case is Toronto. You can enter the address for this person, and I'm not going to enter it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Toronto, and the country will be is in Canada. You can put address that is given to you in the paper, but I just wanted to make it a little bit easier. And the province is your Ontario, and then we have other information. And what we're going to do is the next is your contact number, contact tab. This is where you put the name of the person, and then enter who you deal with. In this case, we know that we are going to be dealing with the person name, the name of the person, Joan James. So let's put it Joan James, and then we could be reach them by phone number 416-604-9088, and they could have an email too in this case, and a fax number. I'm just going to enter the email address because that's outlook.com. You wanted to put in as much information you can for these customers in case somebody takes over your job. How you going to do that? So that's what we did under the card. And now what we're going to do is I'm going to go to processing, and what we are doing is under the processing, these are some of the information is given, and if they want you to change anything, we will change it. And what we have is we wanted to change the outstanding limit here to 65, so that's what we wanted to change. But you're allowed to change whatever you want. You could change their terms, their interest profile. These are some of the things can be changed. In this case, we are only changing what we are changing is the outstanding, and then we're going to click on the invoicing. When you click on the invoicing, in this case when we do the invoicing, which price list do they go under, we're going to leave the inventory, now in this case these are some of the things that are default. We can leave them there. In other words, what we wanted to do is we just wanted to click on the salesperson, and we wanted to change the salesperson to replace to another person. In other words, you signed another person to this division. How you're going to do is you're going to check this one, and then you're going to change it to Jamie. So in this case, that's the only thing you're doing is you're changing. In this case, what you're changing the replacing one salesperson with another person. In other words, sometimes they leave too, or what happens is that if they don't leave, sometimes what happens is maybe people take over the other division. So that's what happens. Now we're going to go to the finder, and under the finder we're going to see where they are belong to. So in this case it could be AB, could be which province. In this case this is they are with the Ontario. The first one is with Ontario, so we're going to select it, and then the first one comes up, which is your tax code 1. So in this case that shows up. So if I go to the finder, I'm able to change them to whatever I want. In this case I just want a taxable, so you could do non-taxable, zero rated, export. So whatever and then they have a registration number, means they have an HST number. So 236892214. so that's the number. So then we are going to go to next our optional field. In this case we're going to find it. Of course, you can double click it and finder, and then select the optional field, tab it over to select it. And once we have done that, what we could do is we could add. You have to do the add in order for everything else to become active. Now we're going to, if you go to the statistic, this is the statistic about this customer. So in this case, we don't need to do anything. Then your next one is the activity. Activity tab. What does this tell you? What are the highest they bought, the highest balance last year, the largest invoice. These are some of the information the owners will look at it. The comment will be anything that we need to enter for the comments. In this case we wanted to leave it blank. We don't want to do anything with the comment, but if you want to put an enter, you are allowed to enter it. So you can change the date too. In this case I want to enter it on we wanted to follow up next month with these customers. For this customer is on the 15th, and we wanted to tell, in case we leave, we wanted to tell them what we want to do. The comment will be, we want to call this we want to say call John to invite him out for lunch, because we wanted more sales, so we want to take them out for lunch so they're happy with us. And once they do that, you don't need to do that. This system will automatically remind you that, oh, you have to take John for lunch, right? So these are some of the things you can do. Now what we're going to do is save it, and now we can enter the other ones. So let's enter, you have quite a few of them. Let's enter the next one. I'm going to go in here. Our next customer number is 1110, and then what the name of the Union Electrical, and then there is no business number. The code is ECAN, and they started it on the 20th, and it's June. So we're gonna go back June 15th. So that's when they did it. So let's see territory. They are in HA. So it's in Hamilton. They have the address. I'm gonna leave it blank in this case. You could enter them too, but it just takes a little bit longer. I'm just showing you how to enter it, but I'm sure you are able to enter it. It's Hunter Street, and the city is Hamilton, and it is in state provinces Ontario. And then you can enter the telephone number, and in this case it is 905 522 7877. So this is there. They have an email address. You could put it in the contract, who you contract. In this case, I wanted to contract Harry Wilson, and there Harry Wilson has an email address and a phone number. You could do that. In this case, it'll be Wilson at unionelectric.com. And then we're going to go to the processing. Under the processing, you wanted to print the statement. You could say that. If you don't want a print statement printed, that's okay too. Everything else comes up, and we wanted to salesperson. Let's go to who these this is the in this case we wanted to know who the under the invoicing, we wanted to keep AB for this person, but we want to split this one with another person. So in this case, this is we want to split. 50% will go to 50% sales will go to here, the 50% go to another one. Again, if it doesn't go to the next line, it's an insert to go to the other one. So you could do the finder, or you could just do the initials. In this case, Kristen Carmichael will be the other 50% of the sale. And the tax group where they are in Ontario. We select it, it automatically comes. Then we go to your optional field. That'll be your region, select it, and then tab it over to select it. Now you have to save it. You have to add it in order to go to the activity or anywhere else. So you have this, or to the statistics anywhere. Now the only thing I missed was under the invoicing, the tax, I forgot their business number here, the registration number, 876598765. I'm gonna add it, and then I go to the next one. Next one is your 1120, and it is for no, 1120. Yeah, it is for 1120, and it is Lang. Let me see. Machinery. I'm going to do the group code. Group code is important. The only thing is not important is the address. So I'm just going to leave those ones blank, because we don't have that much time to kind of go through it. I'm going to go to they've been in the business since 98. So let's look at 98, and that was on March 2nd. So the territory, they are of course in Mississauga, MI for Mississauga. They have the address. I'm going to put the city in. City is your Mississauga and Ontario. And this is where you're going to put the contact information. In this case, it's a Victoria Day, and there's a email address, bday@lang.com. So now we're going to go to the processing. We want to print the reports. We could say yes, and everything else we'll leave it blank the way it is. Now we are going to go to you're going to go to your invoicing. Under the invoicing, which salesperson you want it. For this one, in this case, we want JS. JS is 100% commission for this one. Tax is Ontario, selected, and then you select it. Then we go to optional field. Again, I always forget this. Under the tax, there is a registration number. So that is 401-846-967. And we go to the optional field, that's your region. Select it, and in order for us to accept it, we have to add it. Now I am going to go to our next customer. I'm going to add it. 1130 is your next one, which is your BC Electric. And we want a group. BC is a Canadian. Again, the address, it's a Canadian city is Vancouver, and it's BC. So contact name, who should we contact? In this case, I just wanted to just keep it simple, but you should be entering everything. So in this case, it's a Jennifer Donald. You have to enter their phone numbers and the email address. We want to print these statements, yes. And in this case, what we wanted to do is we're going to leave everything the way it is. I want to go to invoicing, and it is AB for the salesperson, and the tax is BC. So that's what I wanted to do, BC. And when under the BC, we have a GST and PSC. They both have a number. So in this case, one is taxable and one is non-taxable. How you know that, you could do one is taxable if you go to the next one, and that's non-taxable. So I'm going to say cancel, and there's a registered number 987 666 566. And then for the second one, we leave it blank, and what we wanted to do is go to the optional. Again, look for a finder. Region is your finder. Tab it over. You have to add it in order to go to statistic or activities. If I add it, I can go to the statistic. Otherwise, it won't let you do it as activity or comment. It won't let us go into the other one. Now I'm going to enter next one, which is your 1140, and that's your National Electric. Now you could always enter it the way it is. So we could do as 1802 2000. Again, day, month, and a year. When you do that, day, month, and a year, and it's Victoria, and it's a BC. The contact person is, they already given it to us. John Price is the contact price. Again, enter everything. You get marks for everything when you're doing it in the classroom. I'm just showing you in this case. We'll leave everything the way it is because we already set it up. Invoicing is, in this case, we wanted to, there's a 50-50 split for this one. So we are going to go here. We're going to go to, first one is LAJS, John Smith, and they get 50% of the commission. We go to the next one. If it doesn't let you go to the next one, you have to do insert a button. In this case, you go finder, and look for the second person. In this case, the second person is AB. AB was there before, you could have just changed it to, but I just wanted to be consistent with the book. So in this case, the taxes group is BC. BC is there, so we selected it. So we have one, and we have a British tax, non-taxable, and there's a number for each. For the first one, the number is 731286854, and we wanted to do optional field. Select and tab it over, add it in order to the statistic, activity, and comment to be useful. So now we're going to go to the next one. We have quite a few left. In this case, we done 1140. Now we're going to go to 1150. My next one is 1150, and it is for any national bank, no, National Electrical. In this case, it's the ECN. We select. We select it. I think I just noticed that it should be ECN, not EC. Okay, but that's all right. We are gonna, the city there is Grimsby, 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 and it is Ontario. And then we are going to go to, in this case, we are going to go to contact name, who you should contact. We're gonna leave. It is Allison Davis. The next one is Allison Davis, and we are going to go here, and this we want to print the statement invoicing. There's two people. AB is getting 75%. The other one is going to get your, go to the next one. If it doesn't let you go to the next one, you have to do insert button again, and other one is your KC. And then they are going to get the 25%. So that's what they're going to, this province is in Ontario. We're going to select the Ontario, and we are going, the registration number for the Ontario is 822554695. And then we are going to go to optional, and that is our region. Select it and move it over, and we say we add it. Now I am going to go to 1160, and the name 1160 is US metal. Group code is your MUS. I just entered it wrong, ECAN, but that's the same one. I will show you how to fix it too. In this case, it is Buffalo, and it's in New York. And I'm going to go to the contact who should be contacting it. 1160 is my last one. Carmen is, my daughter's name is also Carmen. In this case, you will be dealing with Carmen. In this case, yes, everything processing, we have everything. It's 25,000. We did everything. Invoicing is, we wanted to for the invoicing, who are the people. Casey is the salesperson, and that person is responsible for 100%. The tax group is US. The tax group is US. So I'm going to select the US, and we are going to add in. And what we wanted to do is now we have more invoices to be entered. You'll enter the opening invoices for the following customers. So what we needed to do is we have to add more things. So in this case, we have a save. We have two more to enter. and we're going to add a new one. In this case it is 1210, and the customer name is Johnson and Son, and it is for the Canadian. Selected, and it is where they from, Hamilton. We're going to go to the contact, who should be contacting. In this case they didn't tell us who should be contacted, they just have the name of the person, which is okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm just gonna just do address. This is okay, contact is okay. We have terms are 30 days, which is good, and we have the salesperson is under the invoices is AB 100%. The taxes are Ontario. We are going to select it, and there's no registered number, so we're going to leave it the way it is. So I'm going to add it. Once I add it, you know, the optional fields comes in. They didn't tell us anything to do, so we don't need to worry about adding another one. So next one I wanted to add is 1220, and in this the group is it's a Smith and family. And the group is Canadian, and the address is for Burlington, Ontario. The contact number, they told us, they given us a phone number. You can enter that. I'm not going to do that. The term, you need to worry about it, 30 days. Go to the invoicing, who is the person responsible, AB, and we are going to do the Ontario for the taxes. And then we're gonna add it. We have 2 more to go. The next one is you're gonna add the customer, yes, and the next one is 1230, and we have a 1240 to go, almost at the end. Jason Ltd. So Jason Limited, and the group is the Canadian, and we have city is Grimsby. I thought I entered Grimsby, I don't know. Grimsby, and it is Ontario. Again, the contact is who you reach with them there, and I'm going to go to processing, and that is 30, which is okay. We want to print the statement. Invoicing is who's in charge of it, Amanda is, and it is taxable, so it is Ontario. All right, and then we have, there's no number for it, and now we are ready to add the last one, which is your 1240. So we're going to add your 1240, and it is your brown tone ink. Your code here is going to be selected, and then city is your Oakville. City is Oakville, which is also in Ontario. We're going to contact is the person you should deal with. They have a phone number for them, which is okay. Processing is 30, and we want to print the statement. Invoicing, who is the person in charge of the of this file, is AB 100%, and the tax is your Ontario taxes, which is your, most of the customers that we enter are Ontario. So now we have done that, and there's no registration number, there's no optional field. Now we're gonna do is we're gonna add it. So I think I made a little mistake. I should have 1240 instead of 41. So in this case we could change it to be save it. So you could change, because you could make a mistake. In this case, we entered all of them. So in this case, I am going to delete the last one. Or we can, if you don't need to worry about it, if the both are there, you can make one account an inactive account. So in this case, we can make this customer as an inactive. So the way to do it, you're going to go to, you can make this account as an inactive customer. We have to do, we will show, as you could do it here, make the 49 inactive, so it will not show on anywhere on your on your ledgers, on your sub ledgers. So we are going to go to is in this case, next one we want to go to ship to. Ship to location is right here, and what we wanted to do is we want to know which customer we are shipping. In this case, you could do a type, or you can find. In this case, they wanted 1110. Let's do 1110, and we are tab it over. It's a Union Trust. In this case, they could tell you where they want to do the ship. We could do a new, enter new, and this is where their shipping address is. So what we could do is we could enter the shipping address for this customer. Their mailing address could be different from the ship to. In this case, we are going to do BR, and then it's BR for Brentford, and then you want to put in the address for them. And I am not going to put the full address. I'll just put the name of the city name, Brentford. But you have to enter all of them to get the full marks. This is where the territory is BR. And then you can also go to the contact, and you can enter who you're dealing with at the shipping point. It's a Jeremy Smither, and their address. We're going to click on the invoicing. Under the invoicing, they have who are these people responsible and what is the address. So we have done what we needed to do for this one. So now we're going to go to our next customer list. We're going to leave it blank. Inventory location. We could type the inventory location, because at the end of the day we could give these special instructions what it is going to be, what, in other words, what is it coming up with. The special instructions, we wanted to deliver to back order, to back door. So that's what the special, when we're doing a delivery, that's where it's supposed to be. Via it's Kingsway, like we shipping it through Kingsway. Kingsway, K-I-N-G, Kings SW. And then the name of the transportation is Kingsway Transport. And then we're going to go to optional field, and you could enter what needed to be entered. And we, in this case, we have to, you could do the default, accept the default. In this case, if there's any, we could accept it, and though we don't, since we didn't create any, we're not going to have any. So now we're going to add another one for another, in this case, I'm going to add it. And the next one I wanted to add it to is your 1110. We already done. And we're going to also have a second ship to address. That's what the next part of the saying, add a second ship to location for the same customer. We could do that too. So for the same customer, we could add a new location. In this case, we could add a new location, and that could be at Mississauga. Maybe they have 2 branches that are 2 places where we are shipping. So in this case, the other one is in Mississauga. and we are going to go to Ontario, and you have your postal code and telephone, and that's where it goes under the contact, who you contact. In this case is Peggy Phillips. We are going to end Phillips, 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 and then you have your in this case invoicing. We have a special instructions. In this case, please deliver, says deliver in the morning, so they don't accept any deliveries in the afternoon, so we have to advise that that's what they do. So there's a 50-50 split, and we have an interior tax and it's taxable. And what we did is we added. Now what we have done is we have done what needed to be done. And we could do is we could change, in other words, we could print the reports. So this is where you print the reports. You could do the groups, or save, and we close it. We close everything. So now we have done what we setting up the customers. So we go to the customer reports. You could really be asked to do a group, or you could be asked to print customers. If you're asked to print customers, when you're printing customers, you make sure you enter the profile, click on it to see everything you entered. If you don't do that, then you don't get the marks. In this case, I'm going to close it. I'm just wanted to as a preview. I'm going to do a pre-file. And now I'm going to go back, and I wanted to show it one more time. You could be asked to do a group, and you could be asked to print customers. I wanted to do the customers. When you're doing a customer, you have to click on the profile. If I say print, it should print everything that their address, their everything that needed to be added. This is where everything, that's what I needed you to do. So in this case, we entered a lot of them. If you look at the last one should be inactive, because at the end of the day I entered it, but the problem was that I entered the wrong number. So we could make that mistake. Once the customer is there, we can't delete it. We can make it inactive. It will show under the customers, but it will not show under any subsidiaries. I am done for chapter 17. 17 was just to enter the customers. That's all we're doing, is entering the customers. Thank you so much for listening, and I will be back with the lesson 18, setting up the opening balances. Now you always should dump your files. In this case, I did not create a database for on the desktop. I did not create it. Lesson 17. So you always should do a new folder, and that new folder should be your lesson number 17. So that should be lesson number 17. And we are going to dump the files. Let's dump the files. I'm going to do it the last time. What you're going to do is browse, and then you wanted to make sure it goes into lesson 17. We say okay, and you dump. We say okay. When you dump, you do both data files and you do your system files. So I'll do a dump. Okay. Now we have dumped everything, so we could close it. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be back with lesson 18. Take care and bye for now.